Um, are we going to dispel this myth or are we going to perpetuate it? Do nice guys finish last?
Yeah, I definitely feel that they do. Because nice guys would often get misunderstood. Nice guys often, it's always a narrative of he's always going to be there because he's nice. So I can go around, I can hold around, I can do this, I can do that, but he's always going to be there. Only, and it kind of goes back to what we were just talking about, how women have the power. You know, like R. Kelly, I hate to bring R. Kelly up, but R. Kelly had a song called The Power of the Pussy. I think it was R. Kelly. It's somebody that made that song, but that is the actual song. And it was actually R. Kelly and Jay-Z. The Power of the Pussy. So a woman can walk in a room, she can be a 6, a strong 6. She fine, but her face ain't there. You know, but she can be a strong 6. But if her attribute is a big ass and some nice thighs and she rub on you a certain way, you're gonna take her home. A strong 10 can't really do that with a certain woman if she knows her worth. A man, I'm talking about a man that's a strong 10. This nigga got 0% body fat, you know, like like he got the perfect texture of hair. He got hazel eyes. He look like a pretty pit bull. You know, like it can be all of this stuff that women dream of. You know, but at the same time, he can't just go walk up to any woman and say and just touch on her leg and start rubbing her thigh and say, "I want to take you home tonight." You know, because most women know their worth. So it's up to us to know our worth. So, but at the same time, going back to the question. The reason why that is where the whole nice guys finish last thing is because oftentimes nice guys get neglected and nice guys, they feel like nice guys are always going to be there. You know, it's kind of like the perfect example is Forrest Gump and Jenny. Jenny was hoeing through the whole United States. She had sex with half of the damn military and then started hitting up with hippies. And she'd have caught AIDS and all of this other stuff, and he still married her because he was the lightest guy. He finished last because that was the last person she was with before he died. And I still question that. I think she was hitting somebody that owned the liquor store or something down the street because I fail to believe that she was faithful. That's just my personal opinion. But I feel like that's the best example I can use is Forrest Gump and Jenny on the movie Forrest Gump. No matter how great of the guy he was, same though, you know, in the bar fight, he got mad and beat the dude up, and that wasn't even in his character. Mm-hmm. Forrest Gump was just a cool ass dude. You know, he was dumb, but he was cool, man. This is one of the best friends you ever have in your life. And it took her to get AIDS to realize what happened and had the nerve to dump and still left, and then had the nerve to come dump the kid on him too. That's your son. Damn, how am I supposed to know that? He didn't do no test or nothing. He just took it for what it was. Nice guys definitely feel that.
I do feel there is a lack of social accountability for things like that. Like that's very like I've definitely been in that position where like what we're talking about, how your ex, her family said he's a husband. Right? Because women do that. When they get to dating you, they put you in that category. They're like, okay, look, you know what? This is fun. This is fun and fucking for right now, or this is husband material. And they do try to keep you in those boxes as long as they can. If you're smart enough, you get out of them. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm conflicted in some ways because like some women do say this. They're like, well, what if the guy's a nice guy and he's pretending to be a nice guy because he's trying to get some? You know what I mean? So they have introduced that, which I can kind of understand that. But I also have seen a ton of people just take a guy who's like being there, being dependable, and kind of fucking him over until they're ready for him.
Putting him on the back burner.
On the back burner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely seen that a lot. And I think to your point, that's a good thing, but we can say the same thing about women. You know, the dine and dash women, I call them, you know, like want a free meal, and then you don't hear from him anymore and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we have to worry about that every date that we go on
Yeah.
because of stuff like that. Or we have to worry about them hiding stuff too. Or we have to worry about certain things about them. You know, it's like love is a big ass gamble. It's just
Oh
like
man,
anything in life.
it's like
You
the
know.
lottery. And you really would think that if you just like, if you honored, hold on, hey, stop that. If you honored the things that like I feel like women say they want, like that really is not gonna get you to the promised land. It really just gotta be like you gotta go through the shit. You gotta take the good and the bad. Like with the dine and dash, I had a situation one time where a woman, she accidentally outed herself because she was new to like this game. She was just in a long-term relationship, got out the relationship and then realized she had a little clout because she was like, okay, a bunch of dudes want me. So she set up a date with me. She accidentally outed herself and basically said that like I was the dinner, I was the dinner, then she was gonna have dessert with somebody and then go have drinks with somebody else. And I'm like, you really think that's gonna fly with me?
Wow.
And like she was so naive that like she didn't realize that she had said that. Then I called her up and then she was like, oh damn, I fucked up, didn't I? I'm like, yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ain't that
But a
not?
lot of them won't admit that though.
So let me ask you this then, since we got there. Have you ever been the victim? You know what they call it? What did they call it? They said foodie call. They call them foodie calls. Okay, so
Booty calls.
yeah, instead of booty calls, they're foodie calls.
I've definitely been a victim of that.
All right, talk about it.
Plenty of times. There's like the way you can spot it, most of the time you won't spot it to the end because it's a lot of stuff that they would say on the phone. I had a woman tell me that she was like, she don't like to even go out on dates unless she does a FaceTime to make sure it's them. And I've been catfished twice. So I can see it. I can see why she would want to do that. Sometimes I would just ask for pictures. But she wanted to do a video chat. And she was like, I'm really digging you. I'm really feeling you. I really like you. Blah, 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 blah. And we go on a date. Halfway through the date, she's yawning. And I was just like, hey, you want to just go home? Because I can sit there and eat my food. She made sure she got that damn food, though. And she was like, no, I really like you, though. And I was just like, one of the things I noticed is when I walked up to her, she was sitting down because she made it there before me, right before me. So she said, I'm gonna just get out of seats and sit down. But when I met up with, like, when I seen her and got to her, she didn't get up out her chair to shake my hand or hug me. And I was just like, oh yeah, this is already trash. So I'm just trying to go through the date and just talk to her. Like, well, maybe I'll just at least eat dinner with this beautiful young lady and have like maybe 20, 30 minutes of an hour date. She's like yawning. I said, look, I could have just ordered your food and you could have just stayed home with your broke ass. Like, what the fuck? You know, you broke bitch. Like, okay, you want yawn? And then she was like, no, that's not it. I really like you. I really like you. I said, all right, I'm going to take your word for it. And so the next day, she had like a test. She was taking a test for something. I can't remember. So I knew she said she was going to be studying. So if you studying, I don't like to bother you. And so I had texted her. I said, hey, what you up to? She said, studying. I said, all right, good. You know, keep studying. I hope all is well today. That's the only thing I said, literally. And she said, well, I don't think I'm feeling you like you feeling me. I said, bitch, I'm trying to make it. I didn't say I was going to marry you today.
Wait, she got the surf and turf. She got the surf and turf with two sides, and now she don't want to fuck with you.
All of a sudden, like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not even feeling you like that. Like, that's not, I'm not like trying to marry you today. I'm not even trying to, I don't even know if I want you to be my girlfriend today. I'm just trying to pour into you because I pour into people. That's what I do. That's a part of my virtue. Like, you know, we talked about that in the beginning of the show. I'm always there to help if someone needs me, no matter what. So if I can do it with a stranger, the least I can do is do it with someone I went out on a date with yesterday. You know, you didn't do me anything for me. Like, fuck you and that test. I hope you fail, bitch. You know, like, I didn't have to do all that. I'm just trying to pour into you to try to keep you encouraged while you're studying that day.
Well,
And that's what I got.
and even you don't even have to even explain all that. What it comes down to is her intentions were never to even take it that way with you. And I think we get to this point where we're like, we're sometimes in these situations where we're not being told the truth. And then we're just like, oh, but hey, I'm trying to just be cool. Like, you know, because any self-respecting, sane man is going to know that, like, you're not going to go from surf and turf to a fucking marriage the next day. Any man knows that.
Yeah.
So even that to even come out means that her intentions weren't fucking pure from the beginning, which is like, that's the part that sucks about it. I'll send you some articles later. There are studies about this, that women who do foodie calls are a part of the dark triad. They have a Machiavellian personality.
What?
Yeah. Like I'll
send me that article.
I'll send you an article. They have, because there's three different ones. I forgot what they are. What they are? No? Okay. There's three different kinds, but there's Machiavellian, which is like trying to persuade or deceive you knowingly, right? So women who do the foodie calls or like have the Machiavellian trait or whatever it is.
What?
Yeah, I'll send
it.
Man,
that's deep, man. That's deep.
And that
that's
makes sense.
Deep.
And that makes sense. Like, you know, yeah.
That's real deep.
So it's like the broke chick, right? It's the broke chick. It's based off survival. So it's like, if she can't get her bills paid, she gonna do what she can, and she gonna find a mark, and usually a nice guy is a mark, which is it's unfair to put that negative like term on them, but that's just how she's looking at it, and she's gonna get that, and then she's gonna then reframe it. No, I'm not really into you. Okay, if you need me to drop off a meal, you could have just said that.
Right. Wheels and deals and meals. Like, you know, it's like toys for tots. You know, like, God damn, like if you just was hungry, you just hungry. But that goes right back to what I was saying earlier, how women have the power to do that as compared to most men.
If we did that, they would call us every dirty dick bum in the world if we did some shit like that.
Dirty dick bum.
But they already call us that.
Yeah. I was waiting on it to say something. Yeah, but that's right. We're already getting called that. We can be the best men in the world and still get called that because we're not giving someone their way. Or we're not telling them that, you know, something that they want to hear. We might be telling them what they need to hear, but it's not what they want to hear. And then, like, as you would so eloquently put it, be a dirty dick bum. Because, and
boy,
so
imagine
that we really were dirty dick bums. Like, I'm gonna get this bitch to get me some surf and turf, and I'm gonna get the other one to get dessert, and then I'm gonna go out with this other one and get some drinks. Like, you dirty dick bum.
And then I'm gonna go lay on the couch and go to sleep at the other one house. Bruh, you know what's crazy is, this is the part I think that where it comes down to is like where like women get mad when they hear like when you call yourself a nice guy. I don't know the other term to call it, so I'm not gonna even try to do that. The issue is, you don't just like, when you're trying to do the right thing, you hate being taken advantage of. It's the only thing.
Right.
Because you end up being like, it's so easy for you to call me a dirty dick bum, but the real dirty dick bum, you like literally probably getting a surf and turf from me, and you're going to lay up with him, and he probably eating on some of that surf and turf.
Right,
so,
absolutely.
So like the real one who's the bum, you coming to get bread and money from me and being treated respectfully, and this man laying up with you is okay with that. But it's easy for you to lump me into this negative category. That's the part that like kind of, I think, fucks some men up. Like, damn, when do we get a break with this shit?
Bruh, we live in an age of scammers. So, you know, what do they call it now? Licking.
Right, it's a lick. They hit a lick.
Catching a lick.
Yeah, and they ain't talking about sucking dick. They talking about just dine and dash.
But they don't do that either.
And maybe if you did that, we'd be cool. Like, if you did that shit, maybe we could, you know what? We're even now.
Right.
Surf and
I
turf
could
with
have just
extra
paid the
rice.
chick $40 for that.
Surf and turf with extra rice is on me, baby. Please.
If that, but honestly, if that's all you want, you could just go on the other side of Armstrong Park and call it a day. I didn't say that.
No, right. God damn, why you nasty?
But I mean,
Dirty deep from you.
It's something that need to be talked about too, bro. Because it's like as dudes who's always put their heart first. At least I can say that from what I know of each of the fellas in this. Dudes who put their heart first, you know. Maybe we have done some fuck shit to women, but I guarantee you we didn't do fuck shit to begin with. I definitely, for me at least personally, I didn't start doing fuck shit till I got fucked over like 3-4 times.
Right.
Then I'm like, you know what? That's just what they on. Like what you're saying, the scamming and all the other bullshit.
Right. And just to throw it out there, the telephone scams right now, on the average is they swindle people out of, in just the United States alone, they swindle people out of $9.5 billion a year.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's not including these hoes that just want to go out for a free meal.
The sugar babies.
The sugar babies.
And see, that's the part about it that needs to be held accountable, because you know what, if tell Mike, if I called you on the phone and was like, look, I got a girlfriend and I got 2 side hoes, and I'm finna stay at my girlfriend's house, but I'm finna go get some bread from this other chick, and she got 3 kids, but I'm finna go get about 600 out of her. Like, if I called you on some shit like that, bro, what would you say to me?
I was like, what the hell is your problem? We're not doing that today. First of all, tell them hoes that you're not going to their house. The ones with 3 kids, you taking food out the kids' mouth, and then it'll be a wormhole of morally gravitating stuff towards you to try to make sure you don't do that shit.
Yeah, like you would, and honestly, you might end up, depending on how my reaction is, you might be like, okay, bro, don't call my phone again. You know what I mean? We wouldn't put up with no shit like that if we heard some more fuck shit like that coming from somebody. Because honestly, the kind of men we're cut from is being like, dog, you can't go Uber.
Right. 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 We can easily do that. Easily. And we don't mind doing stuff like that. But, the way the world is right now and the way everything is going, we get stuck in this whole rigmarole that's how it's supposed to be. And the women being taught that, but the men are being taught that. And it's like a lot of hurting people. It's like the zombie effect, or the theory of the zombie. Like if I'm a zombie, I bite you, you become infected, and then you become a zombie. Mm-hmm. Or, if I bite this woman, she becomes infected, and then she go bite 3 other dudes and do like the dine and dash thing with the dudes, and then, or what do you call it? Foodie what?
Foodie call.
Foodie call. She do 3 different foodie calls with 3 different dudes. Now he's like, man, I ain't paying for no bitch. Like how we get. I ain't paying for no meal for no bitch on no first date. You heard me? And then next thing, and then now she's like, you. So what?
Especially if you're not getting some type of compensation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're just being reciprocated. Like I would say that, reciprocated. Like
right.
I'm taking you out. Like I didn't wake up to take you out to just feed you and be taken advantage of.
Right.
Because if it was about feeding you, you could have just called. Trust me, I done had chicks call me, look, bro, I'm broke. I ain't got no food. Okay, here go $20. Boom. I done did that before, because that's cool, but I'm not expecting nothing from her, because she called on some legit, real shit. Like,
right.
But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I'll tell you something like on the good side. One of my homegirls I've been knowing since high school. I was doing pretty bad at the time, and she called me to see how I was doing. Long story short, I was like, man, I'm hungry. And she was just like, well, you have food in the house? I was like, nah, I don't have no food at the house. I don't even know what to do, because I just paid all my bills. I really don't have no money, because I was working for a non-profit organization myself, and they swindled me out of some money. or they never just paid me like they were supposed to. And then once I left, I was just like, I don't have no money. So she said, hey, look, I'm gonna come over there and just, at least come chill with you. She's married. We never slept together. That wasn't even her intent. So she came over and she said, hey, look, I'm outside. So I was like, come on, you know how to get upstairs. She was like, nah, just get in the car. So she took me out to eat. And I was just like, man, you don't have to do that. And I was going to pay for it. I ain't really had no money like that. But I was like, we're out. This is my homegirl. She's the lady. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And she was like, no, I already paid for it. You good. And then she was like, let's go to the grocery store. I want you to get some groceries. And I was like, well, I don't have that much money, but, I'm going to get a little something. She paid for that too. And she said, I just wanted to help you out. Because I helped her out with a few things as well. And I put certain people on that she was close to, like put them on in the industry with no problem. I never asked her to pay me. And I never say, well, you got to do something for me first. I need some of that sloppy before I put your people on. Like, that was never my intent, because for one, I knew her. That's just not, I don't be on that Diddy shit, that Diddy Christopher Williams shit. So it was, I just never did that. So for her to reciprocate that in that way and to show that, there are people out there, or women out there for that matter, that just want your best interest at heart without wanting anything in return, was dope. But the vast majority of the women that I've met, would give or take maybe 3, always wanted, it was kind of like offset on so many different levels. And it was just ridiculous. But it's something that needs to be out in the forefront. But, right now we're in an age where people want to protect hoes, and they don't want to protect the good people or the good women or the good men.
Well, and protecting just this badass behavior, it's making excuses for this bad behavior. And I mean, I believe in, that's why when I said in this podcast, man, speak your mind, say how you feel, because I'm not like mincing words with this, because bad behavior is bad behavior. If I was on if I was on some fuck shit, you should tell me that you're on some fuck shit. You want some dirty dick bum nigga shit, whatever it is you want to call it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's almost like there's always excuses given. So for the foodie calls, a lot of women on my posts made the comment, well, it makes up for it because women make less money in the workforce than men. So guess what? That makes up for it. Even the article
Which is not true.
You said the same thing. The problem with that is it's just not right, and it's indecent, and it's wrong.
Right.
It's mislead somebody.
Right. That's true.
That is coercion. That is coercion.
Right. So you already know what you're doing. And on top of that, the whole thing with women making less money than men in the workforce is not true. Like I've been district managers, area managers. I've owned my own stores. I've been managers of stores, including like Sprint and Sprint mainly so far as with that, in Foot Locker. And the women always made the same as men. The only time you didn't make the same amount if somebody had a degree or a higher education than you, and they have to honor that education based upon their policies. But if they didn't have to do that, everybody made the same. That was a narrative from white women, and black women try to take that in, just like white women stole Black Lives Matter. But that's a whole nother story.
I do think overall, like if you look at a nationwide, look at it nationwide. Yeah. I mean, because in my past, women have always made more than me too in workforces, but I don't think that negates the fact that as a whole nationwide, like when you start looking at the upper echelon type positions, like when you go to talking about, 100K, 200K, 300K type of situations.
Like corner office type jobs.
Right. Women are definitely being paid less than that. So that statistic is built on a nationwide, even though anecdotally it doesn't really apply down here. But nationwide, It does apply to that. The women do get.
Right. But so here's the thing, though. So I agree to that. But the women that are saying it are the women that's down here. These bitches ain't executives. Let's be honest. So It's not the ones that are saying it are not in these upper echelon spots. They working at Burger King. You know, like, oh man, like both of y'all getting paid $8.50 an hour. So I don't know. Y'all need to come together and pick the same struggle and try to make it happen. Because at the end of the day, we're all in the same struggle down here. So I think you bring up a good point. It's kind of like watching someone like like Trailer Park Trash take up for Donald Trump, and his policies are only going to help rich people. It's just like, yeah, if I'm rich, yeah, I can see
when
why.
I have 600,000, no, you ain't never gonna have 600,000.
You ain't gonna never have no 600, not even in your whole lifetime.
50
The whole
cent.
trailer park is not worth 600,000. Each trailer is worth 10,000. You only got 5 of them there.
I mean, so just to cap this off, man, it's for real that we gotta get to a point of really just getting back to just holding people accountable for what's right and for what's wrong, no matter who it is. Just because I'm a man, I don't deserve to get misled out of a damn meal. Because if you honestly just want the damn meal, I would probably just Cashapp you the money anyway if you was fucking hungry. Hold on.
Right.
Hey, say, please don't do that. So I probably, so we got to get to that point. Come here. Hold on. Come here.
Yeah, you know.
Thank you. We got to get to the point where we're not doing that. I had this conversation because I posted about Johnny Depp, like they've been posting how he was abusive and this and that. Then these videos came out of his wife basically just berating him and being a narcissist, and just coming out that she was one actually starting the physical fights, and women still kept trying to come to reasons of, like, they were saying the same shit that we say to victims of abuse, and they couldn't see that.
Right.
And I'm like, you're literally saying the same thing that we say to victims of abuse that you say men say.
Right.
Like, it's like this cognitive dissonance just like hits in.
What they were doing, they were dehumanizing Johnny Depp. They were saying that because he is less of a man, that is how he allowed a woman to subvert him that way. And it's not right. When you love someone, you open yourself up to that intimacy, and what she did with that intimacy is abuse it. And and of course he probably tried to win her back and love her and all the other stuff, and there she was just being toxic. And I think women that enable that type of treatment, they just have work to do. I'm not going to say anything mean about them. They just have work to do, a lot of work to do.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything mean, just being honest. And that's where like therapy and counseling comes in. And a lot of women like that won't really get it because they already feel like they're in the right. And the women that took up for her the way they did, knowing that she was wrong, most women would never say I was wrong about this situation. Most of them. Some of them will, but most of them won't. Most women won't say that, that, you know what, we were saying all of this about him, but now we see the actual evidence on what happened because every action has a reaction. We were wrong about this, and now we should come to his defense. Like oftentimes when I post certain things on Facebook, they would say, they'll take up for some imaginary woman in an imaginary situation where the situation is set up where the woman is wrong. And it's just like, this ain't the time for that. This ain't the time to include that. That'll be like, how many times you've seen a man if a woman posted, men ain't shit because they don't pay their child support. And I know so many men who do. Very rarely I hang around or know a man that really does it. But that doesn't mean that it's not happening. So if I feel like my only comeback is where there are some men that do, I'm not gonna say anything because I feel like they'll be on some all lives matter shit. So if we talking about a problem that some women have or most women have, and I put it on my page, and you tell me, but men do this too. Like, that's like saying all lives matter, because men don't have a safe place to talk and vent out and say, this happened to me. And then when we do say it, we're deemed to be bitches and assholes, and we're soft and we're doing all this stuff.
Misogynist as well. The brother,
Yeah.
what it comes down to is the same way, like it's not the same, but the abuse factor is the same. So yes, men are stronger and can then impose more physical force on a woman, but at the same time, gaslighting and coercion and manipulation affect us the same damn way. If I'm out here looking for some love and then I got people using me, then that's gonna make me then take on that's gonna affect my mental health. Because that's gonna now make me take on, like what you just said. What do we turn to? Man, fuck these bitches, man. Fuck them. I ain't finna do this. So now you're gonna go disrespect a woman who ain't got nothing to do with the scenario because you got a history. But we want so much to put on the man of like, do your work. No, also do the work of why are we condoning this? Why is even college educated women saying, oh yeah, women do foodie calls because they don't make as much money in the industry or in the workforce, blah, blah, blah. It's wrong. It's fucking wrong. Because
right, no matter how you put it.
Because if you got a good dude that believes in these virtues of protecting and maintaining women and protecting women, right? I feel like as a person, you would want to keep that. Like if, as a man, my wife is a very sensitive, loving person, I want to make sure that she always feels that way. And I don't do fucking shit that makes her then turn into a cold-hearted person.
Right, absolutely. And people don't realize, or a lot of men don't realize how important that is. And because we're natural protectors, just like most women are natural nurturers. Most men are natural protectors, no matter how you look at it. At least, especially back in the day, if you used to think about even with drug dealers, what was the code? One of the main OG codes of being a dope dealer or being in the game, as they would say, said no women, no kids. If women and kids are around, you don't do it. That was the actual downfall of Scarface on the movie Scarface. He didn't want to blow up the car of the senator or whatever he was because his children and his wife was in the car. He kept saying, I told y'all, no women, no kids. And he knew it was a death sentence to him, but he stood by his moral ground. So if somebody like Scarface can do it, I feel like we all should be able to do that shit. Because he was coked out of his head and he talked shit to his wife. He was shooting people. He was killing people. He didn't give a damn. He shot Frank in the stomach and shit, you remember? So he did all this different shit. But no matter what he did or what he went through, he said, my moral ground is no women, no kids. So I'd rather shoot the assassin and get killed in a week than to kill this woman and his kid because they have nothing to do with it. And oftentimes we don't know how to stand on our moral background. What is our version of no women, no kids? And as men and as women, we don't do that anymore because the whole narrative is I'm going to get me, or I'm going to get that lick, or I'm going to get the bag and all of this other bullshit that don't mean anything when it's out of social media's hands and you at home in the corner crying and shit. So, like we don't even look at that. And then when we get into these relationships and when things get real, we don't know how to handle no. We don't know how to handle maybe. We don't know how to handle, well, maybe later or this, that, and the other. We don't know how to handle that because we don't even have a moral standpoint for ourselves to say, hey, I'm not doing this, or hey, I am doing this, and because this is who I am and this is what I want. And if you can't fall into the figures of that, it's cool. I don't have to be with you because I'm with myself. And that's where the whole self-love thing comes from first.
Well, look, man, we're going to cap this thing off. This has been a beautiful episode of the Rise of the Kings podcast, man. I want to thank my boy TJ for coming through today. I want to thank you so much. Till Max Star, you came through. You blessed us with the word, brother. You gave us the word.
That's what I'm here for, man. Anytime, man. I appreciate you having me on the show.
Man, you welcome anytime, man. And thank you to everybody out there for paying attention, staying tuned, man. We're going to keep more and more things coming at you. Man, that's the end of it. Ladies and gentlemen, peace out. Come on.